Hey community, this is Dr. Hugh coming at you, and today we have a very, very special guest, a guest that has been damaged by Cipro, the horrible antibiotic in the class of fluoroquinolones, and her name is April. And before we start, I just want to give a big shout out to April because there's, to get on the phone or on video, I should say, April, you're going to be seen all over the world. People are going to be watching this at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 p.m. in the morning, looking for some hope and possibility, and you were able to come on here and do a recording. I ask all my clients if they want to do a recording, and some do, and most don't because they just are not comfortable giving all their personal biz up in the world of the internet. But April has a strong conviction on trying to help the community, help people that have been damaged by these antibiotics. And we also want to give a couple of shout outs to Talia Smith, who has been kind of like the forefront of the community. And then another person we want to give a shout out that April mentioned was Chad Gilliam, who has given a lot of people hope and possibility in the Facebook group. So April, can I just start off with the community? What happened when you got damaged? Why did you get damaged? And then we'll kind of go through your journey of your symptoms. And I think people really want to know is what did April all do to try and get recovered as much as possible today? So just kind of give us an intro on what happened and why you got damaged initially.
Okay, so what happened was in 2023, I had a gum grafting done that led to an abscess that led to taking amoxicillin. And over that couple, like 6 weeks period, somewhere along the line, I had some bladder pain. So I went into my PCP and he prescribed me Cipro for a suspected UTI, a suspected,
Yeah.
So that was in December of 2023 when that had happened. He's prescribed that to me. And I sat on it for a few days. Stupid me, did not research it. And I took it. And about the third pill in, I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel right. So I stopped taking it altogether. Well, within like a week and a half or so, I was at work and my heart started racing uncontrollably. And I thought I was having a heart attack actually. And I never had that feeling, my blood pressure raised, thought I was having a heart attack. Never had this happen. I'm a runner. I work out every day. I eat healthy. These things just didn't happen to me. Never had high blood pressure. Everything was always great. So I went to the hospital. I was ambulanced to the hospital because I worked at a doctor's office. Yeah, I was ambulanced. And they took me to the hospital. Of course, when you get there, everything's different, right? They monitor you and you get there and they're like, oh, you had some high blood pressure and this and that. And I had no idea really in the beginning what caused this. I initially thought it might have been from like the grafting or something, and I kind of brushed it off as like a fluke thing.
Yeah.
Well, then about, I don't know, a couple weeks later, but over time, over that couple weeks before the next incident, my blood pressure would raise, or I would have a terrible anxiety. I started having all these crazy symptoms.
Like neurological symptoms you're talking about, April?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have anxiety. I mean, I had rapid heart pulse all the time. I felt anxious. I'd go into my PCP. I'd be like, hey, listen, I'm feeling really anxious and I don't know why. He's like, hey, I know you don't like pills, but how about I give you something for anxiety?
Let's give you a benzo.
Right. I was like, I just said, I don't really think I need a pill. I don't know what's causing it all of a sudden. He's like, well, just try it. If you calm down, and it helps you, we won't keep you on it forever. Well, he gave me this script. I did not fill it. I was like, nope, there's something going on. I know my body. Well, then not only did I have that, I had those heart palpitations.
Yeah.
But back into my PCP, I said, hey, I'm having these heart palpitations and I can't sleep. I was sleeping like maybe 2 to 3 hours a night. And he's like, oh, he goes, how about I write you a script for like a sleeping pill just to help you sleep?
So they were going to put you on some kind of antidepressant medication, then a sleep medication.
Yep, that's what he wanted to do. And I said, I said, listen, you know me. You've been my PCP for like 13 years at this point, somewhere in that area. I don't get shots. I don't take medications. I don't like any of that. And he knows that. And he's like, well, if it helps you though, and then we'll just for a little while. I'm like, no. And I said, can you send me for like an ultrasound to see if something's going on? He would send me for ultrasounds and blood work. Nothing would show up. Everything was great. I'm like, something's just not right. He
Yeah.
never attained it to the fact that he gave me Cipro, not once.
Right. And how
So
many
then
pills did you take, April? How many? He gave
three,
you a prescription for how long,
10.
and how many did you take?
He gave me a prescription for 10 pills for 10 days. And I believe they were 500 milligrams, I believe.
Okay.
And they were for one a day.
One a day.
So I
All right.
took
And you took
three
all 10?
total. No, I took three.
You took 3 capsules. Okay. 3.
Three. And I didn't feel good. So I
Mm-hmm.
just stopped. And I was like, something doesn't feel right. I don't know what's happening. So I had all these symptoms that just started coming on. So I would end up in the hospital. I have this high blood pressure. I have sleep issues. I'm having everybody be like, oh, and I started to tell them, I said, well, I did take an antibiotic, Cipro. And nobody would ever say, they're like, oh, that was the drug of choice for like 30 years, a heart doctor told me. I
Yeah.
was like, that was the last time I went to a hospital. Never went to a hospital again.
Hmm.
He brushed me off. He gaslighted me. I said, look it up. This is after I knew. I said, look it up. I said, it's got like 7 black box warnings. I
Mm-hmm.
said, he goes, oh, it's just, he goes, all right, I might look it up. He left the room, went away for half an hour, came, he goes, okay. I looked it up. He goes, it's really just a tendon thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, he goes, it's been our drug of choice for like 30 years for almost anybody that would come in. I'm like, well, that's probably why people are walking around really messed up and they have no idea why.
Some of it for sure. Yeah. No doubt.
I mean, immediately after I took Cipro, I have a whole list. I had rapid heart palpitations every day, 2 to 3 hours of sleep every night. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety. I started to feel depressed. I had I was losing all my hair every
You
day,
have
like
long, beautiful
dots.
hair. It looks like you have a natural curl to it or
I
wave.
do, and I was losing all my hair. I
Mm-hmm.
had like the coldest hands and feet I'd ever had. It would never go away.
Mm-hmm.
I lost 10 pounds right away out of the gate. Then I lost 20 total. I was down to 108 pounds. You could see
108.
and I'm 5'7".
Yeah, that's way too thin.
You could see every bone in my chest. You could
Mm-hmm.
see, I mean, I was just a stick figure. People are like, are you sick? Do you have
Mm-hmm.
cancer? They started to think I was like anorexic, all the things. People would
Mm-hmm.
just question me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had malabsorption issues. It didn't matter how much food I ate, I always felt hungry. Um, I remember one time when I felt really vulnerable, and this is probably about 6 months in. I was standing in the kitchen and I just felt like nothing was going to get me better. And I did. And I told my husband, I said, I just feel like I'm going to die. Everything inside of me just feels like it's dying, like I'm just going to die. I said, I feel so sick. I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I said, I don't even know where to go from here. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And it was just like one of those really major turning points for me to really figure it out because I was like, I can't let Cipro steal my life. And the only reason why I knew it was Cipro is because my husband asked me one day, he's like, hey, what was that antibiotic that you had taken? And I told him, and he looked it up and he said, and he found Talia's name attached to what he was looking up. And he went to her site on Instagram, I believe, and he's like, hey, this girl took 3 pills just like you, and she couldn't even walk. And he's like, he goes, how many pills did you take? I said, I'm not sure. It was like 2 or 3. And I went home and I kept the bottle, and 3 pills were gone.
3 pills. Okay.
And all my symptoms just started rolling like one I would might get one under control and another symptom would come in. I mean, I had food sensitivities, I had a rash that didn't go away for a year and a half, Achilles pain, gut issues, neuropathy in my feet and hands. I had my teeth were loosening up, like they were loosening because I had so much bacteria in my body that
Yeah.
bacteria was just staying in my mouth. I had let's see, I had hormone imbalances, cold hands and feet. I had so many things. And then 9 months later, I started having, after most of these things started to subside, because they would start to subside, but then something else would show up.
Yeah.
I had internal tremors. I started having internal tremors. And I thought, well, that's weird because they started off really small that they weren't super noticeable yet. I was like, well, that was a weird feeling. And then they just gradually started getting worse. And then I started having ringing in my ears. And I'm just like, what is happening? And this is when I was down 20 pounds. I was very sick no matter what I did. And I worked out every day still.
Still, you
I
worked out
ate
every day.
healthy. Yeah, I was working out every day. I was eating super healthy. I changed and I ate healthy before, but I was real. Like I didn't drink any more caffeine right away out of the gate. No more sugar, no more nothing. And I was just eating proteins and what leafy greens and you name it. I wasn't doing anything, only water. And then I had chronic UTIs for 2 years.
Wow.
On top of that, I started having chronic UTIs that would not go away for 2 years. Finally, December of 25, I did that pro symbiotic what do you call it? Remember that
A probiotic?
that vaginal pro
Vaginal
symbiotic?
probiotic. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
right.
That's the
Mhm.
only thing that made those UTIs go away. And I had them for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So meantime, what were all the things that you did to try and get yourself better? Like give the people watching you, like, I know you did a lot of stuff before we met. I know
Yeah.
you got some testing, and so just kind of
So
just give.
I worked for a chiropractor who also does natural things and he helped me get to a certain point, but he didn't do blood testing in his office.
Mhm.
So then I started to see a different naturopath that could do blood tests and some things more extensive. Because when I started following these groups on Facebook for people who are injured by Cipro, I started seeing other people talk about testings
Yeah.
and supplements and things like that. So I started going to a naturopath back in Michigan where I lived, and they helped me get to a good certain point. But I knew I needed something more. Like everybody helped me get to a certain point until I just needed something more, right? And then I started seeing another doctor out here in Arizona who could get really deep into testings and understood different things. And he helped me get to a certain point. But then I found you through Talia because
Mhm.
you understand being injured by antibiotics now. All these other naturopaths, it's not that they didn't believe me, they just never really understood it or just didn't deal with anybody that was
Yeah.
ever really injured.
Yeah.
And
It's a clinical experience. You kind of get into a kind of a niche thing, and then you have a real in-depth knowledge about some kind of particular topic.
yeah.
In this case, being damaged by antibiotics.
No, my doctor that I worked for knew I was. But he actually he believed that I was because I worked there the whole time and it changed after that. So he worked with me. You know what I mean? And we got two good points. Like he was really on top of everything. But the thing about it is that until somebody really understands what it means to be injured by an antibiotic, nobody can really help you get to the point that you need if nobody's really willing to dig that deep, you
Yeah.
know?
Hmm.
Like it's not that they weren't willing, you just can't do something that I guess you don't understand, right?
Yeah. Right.
And my doctor that I worked for understood those things and he was getting me good, but I had to go doctors where there's blood testing so I could see what was going on in my body and my blood.
Hmm.
And I did thousands of dollars in testings.
Yeah, we had to do I said, I remember a text,
Yeah.
a pinky promise: don't do any more damn testing.
Yeah,
It's just like, so, I mean,
I
sometimes
did.
you go to these providers, they test and they test and they test. So, and you just get overwhelmed. Here's what I think, just to clarify. Here's what I think. If
Yeah.
you're watching this and you're like, what testing here's how I test. I think someone needs good, solid blood work, 11, 10, 12 vials of blood. Okay.
Mhm.
If you want to know what that is, you can go to my website. I think then, depending on how someone responds, you need to check out for mold, heavy metals, and environmental pollutants. That's a urine test.
Yeah.
The third test is like a GI map test, a poop test. That's the tests you need, right? So some people,
Mhm.
they just go off and get test after test after test after test. But, no test has ever gotten one of my clients better. Zero. What gets people better is a clinical application towards a specific problem, like you, April. That's what gets
Yeah.
someone better, not testing. It's an application very specifically geared towards, your needs.
Well, on top of that, I can tell you I've never prayed harder than I prayed during these times on top of that.
Yeah.
Like I've really dug deep in my faith and I've really looked to God to lead me and guide me and I've really stuck to my faith the whole time. To top off this whole thing, 2 months after I had been injured by Cipro, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer. And I was so sick, I couldn't
Yeah.
even fly out to Arizona to see her. And it took me 4 months to get to a decent point, to where I could even come out here to Arizona and see her. Now I live out here.
Yeah.
But it was a very daunting, dark time in
Yeah.
2024
Yeah.
and through 2025 moving out here. And it's just been the longest journey. But you know what? I have had hope all along because I put my hope in him first, my
Yeah.
faith in him first, and I let him guide me to where I need to be. And I remember praying so hard for him to send me somebody that just understood antibiotic injury, or just miraculously heal me right now. And I watched that whole message between you and Talia, that whole station where she interviewed you.
Yeah.
And that was like the one thing that I feel like gave me the most hope was
Mm.
seeing that somebody actually tailored themselves to understand this antibiotic injury and is helping people in ways that nobody else really can. And it's just been amazing to know that,
Wow.
there's somebody out there that listens, that
Yeah.
understands it, and that can help people and give them hope.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you. I think with that, I've been helping this community probably for 8 years now. Like that's where it's kind of started. And I'll tell you this, people that have a faith-filled background get
Mhm.
better. Like, and I make it very clear. Like I try and make it clear, like when I communicate with people, when people come on board for care, is I'm saying, God created you to be healthy. Like God designed you to be healthy. Like we need to figure out what's interfering with that God-given potential for you
Yeah.
to be well. Like that's really where the investigation needs to go to. And I think if you can have a spiritual component, and if people are spiritual, then they have more faith in their ability to heal and function. And really, I just look at it like what's hindering the God given healing ability for April or whoever's watching this right now? What's hindering your God given healing ability to recover from these antibiotics? Whatever your condition is, that's where the investigation needs to go. And if you have faith that you have a spiritual power, like you just think about it, like, you cut your finger and your finger heals. Like that's a miracle, right? Like, I mean, it happens. There's some amazing power in the body that can heal the body. You just have to figure out what's hindering that, that ability to get well. And that's where the kind of the investigation goes on. But
Well, I can say that God would use any tragedy and turn it into a triumph. He will. He'll use what we're going through and he will use it for his goodness. And I can say for sure that I have helped so many people not take Cipro just because I knew what Cipro did to me.
yeah,
And because of that reason, I guess I can say it's worth it to know that at least what I've gone through has helped other people not have to go through that. And I know that it's tragic. It really is. It's all of us wish we could go back to the 3 days prior or the 5 days prior, or the 2 weeks prior. We all do. And if I can say, as long as what I've been through has helped others, I guess then that's the triumph out of the tragedy for me.
yeah, that's great.
Because I can tell you it's been no small road to have to travel. It's been a tough road, and I've been through some really hard things, but this has been really hard.
Yeah,
But I can tell you with my faith and my prayers, and I know that God's not left me at all, that I can say that I will experience full healing at some point. It's never
yeah,
on my timing, it's always on his.
yeah.
I have to remember that.
Yeah, that's critical. So maybe just do a quick compare and contrast on your darkest days versus where you are now, because I think people might want to see the distinction there, and then we can move the conversation from there.
My darkest days were in the very first, I say 4 months probably, where I was experiencing all the symptoms I listed at like one time. And I would feel like I would maybe make a little progress, but go 5 steps back all the time, to the point to where I couldn't sleep at all. I felt like nothing I ate was even doing anything for me. I was crying on the daily. I was still going to work every day, but I was the biggest mess I think I've ever been. I didn't even know how I could function from day to day at all. It was just basically I was like on this autopilot of just purposefully trying to gain my life back as much as possible and keep going. Because I knew if I would have curled up in a ball and sat on my couch or crawled under the covers, my body would have shriveled up. I had to keep exercising. I had to keep taking supplements. I had to keep eating healthy, and I had to keep my mind strong enough to know that I couldn't give up.
Yeah. Right.
And that was where I was probably in my darkest days, was that first 4 to 6 months, probably.
Yeah. And now
Yeah.
where are you at?
Oh man. I can say that my tremors are almost nothing compared to where they were. Like I was having tremors every single day when I met you.
Yeah.
And my tremors are down to, I may not even have one for a few days. And I might have a small, tiny one, but they're not throughout the whole day. They last for like a few minutes and then they're gone, and they're not very strong at all. The ringing in my ears has gotten less. That may or may not go away. We don't know.
Yeah.
My hair falling out was another major thing that I still continue to do, but it's getting way better. Like I'm not losing hair like I was at all.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I gained all my weight back last year. So I'm healthy where I was.
Yeah.
I'm back to where it took a year and a half to get there, but I'm there. It's because I just told myself I wasn't going to quit on myself. I was going to
Yeah.
figure that out. And I can say that if you don't quit and you keep looking for the next answer, like, okay, this is what's happening. If this doesn't work, something else might work, and you don't stop looking for that answer, I feel like that's when you'll find it. Because I can tell you, like I said, certain people from the Cipro community did help. Like I can't go back and read everything anymore because it's too much in my head at that point, because it makes
Yeah.
me relive
Yeah.
so many things.
Yeah.
But there are so many people I'm to be thankful for in that community, because had I not had a community, I wouldn't have even known where to go from point A to point B at all. So I can
Yeah.
tell you that I'm way better off than where I was even 6 months ago when I found you.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm in a much better place. I'm much happier. I sleep better. I'm thriving. We still have our little challenges,
Yeah.
but like you keep reminding me that, our bodies have to heal, and it could take, a few months, or maybe everybody's body's different. We're all different.
Yeah.
What might be good for me might not be good for the next person.
That's the whole problem with this kind of
Yeah.
this kind of condition. Everyone's an outlier. It's not like you go and you go, oh, you have a hypothyroid condition, we're going to give you a
Right.
thyroid hormone and you'll be better. That's not how this works. There has to be a process where you work through things to figure things out. So what do you think, like when we started working together, what do you think were some really key essential things that you thought were like move the needle for you, April?
I can tell you, changing out my supplements, like you had changed me out to liposomal, because I feel like, because my gut was in a bad place, maybe I wasn't absorbing all the nutrients from the supplements that I was taking necessarily.
Yeah.
So I think that changing over to the liposomal supplements was a good call.
Yeah.
I feel like the neurological testings that you have me do, although my body is, as we both know, super sensitive to certain changes, I can do them in small doses.
Yeah.
The infrared blanket, I can take it in small doses.
Yeah.
And that arc pen that you had me
Oh,
use.
the vibration thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
The stimulate
I
things,
can
yeah.
do that in small doses. But
Yeah.
now I'm getting to the point where I can handle bigger doses.
See, yes,
My
that's a critical thing. So when people come to me with like central nervous system problems with these
Mhm.
antibiotics, like they're in a sympathetic storm, the sympathetic drive. So you really have to figure out what can you do to calm down the nervous system. And it's just not a supplement game. Like we've done many things
Nope.
besides just supplements. Like if people are out there and
Mhm.
you're watching this and you're like, what the hell supplement can I take to fix my problem? That's the losing game. That's what I feel. I think that's the
Yeah.
losing game. You're not going to win in that game. It's what's the best way I would describe it? I have there's physical medicine things like April mentioned, like we did some vibration things around her face. We had her do some neurological things, a sauna blanket, a chi machine. All these things are physical. Yep. We had you check your blood sugars. I have a better thing now with the lingo, checking blood sugars, but this physical medicine portion, things that you do at home are more important than the supplement. Like, so when people get on there, what supplement can I take? People will I'll put some stuff on Facebook or whatever. They're like, what supplement? It's not a supplement. It's not even a protocol. That's where the that's where the difficulty comes in. So you did a lot of the physical medicine things.
I
And
think
then,
you
yeah, we also
tailor
cleaned
it
it.
to what's happening for them. Like it's not one size fits all.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
It's
for sure
not.
not.
Like
For
I
sure
do
not.
certain things that other people may not do and they might be fine. Like I have my own ritual of things that I do also that somebody suggested to me on the Cipro site. And it works for me, but it may not work for somebody else. I know minerals are extremely important to healing because
Mm-hmm.
we're mineral deficient. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew that because my gut wasn't working properly and my teeth were receding, all the things. And it alerted me. I'm like, okay, what can I do for this? Right. Like, and I just started finding things. And certain people from the community, I'll read things because we're all searching for answers.
Yeah.
And so you can try things, but like you said, it's the supplement game that you don't want to have to play that is frustrating because it's not about a supplement. It's about also the therapies. What therapies can I do?
Yes.
It's not just what can I take, it's what can I do. And I
Yes.
think, like you're saying, the things that are important is like you changed my diet as far as the meat and the fruit. That changed me for a while. I think that helped. I
Yeah.
mean, I think there's a series of things that helped me throughout these past 2.5 years that got me here. It wasn't just like one miracle thing.
No.
It was a
Never.
series of dozens of things that I had to do depending on what was happening to get me to this point.
Yep. I agree 100%. Yeah. And I think, I talk about kind of like a tidal wave. I think like when you add a bunch of things at once, that's
Yeah.
like when the tidal wave can start to happen.
Mhm.
Like things don't happen on a monotherapy approach. One thing, like, oh, I'm going to try vitamin D. I'm going to try magnesium. I'm
Right.
going to try sauna blanket. If you're just doing this monotherapy, one thing approach, that's again, I think that's a losing game as well because the
Yep.
body's too complex. And in order to get that God-given that healing power working, there's many things that you can do to stimulate or heal the body, like we did for you, April. And I think another thing that we found is that you had a silica sensitivity, and this is
Yeah.
so you were texting me back and forth, and I still remember this. I don't know why the hell I started researching the silica thing, but you sent something to me like at 5:30 in the morning, right? I read this text, and then I started going on this silica thing and doing research on silica. I was trying to think today, why the hell I even researched the
It's
silica.
because I was comparing products and then you looked at it, you said, "Oh, it's probably the silica because I had silica in all my supplements and I was still having all these issues." And you said it's silica and you looked it up and it showed that it can cause the tremors.
Yes, because I think you were taking the Quicksilver products, which don't have silica in them, and then you were
Mhm.
getting better, and then you had a flare, and then I started doing the research on the silica, and then when you eliminated silica, which basically
Mhm.
silica is just kind of a filler in these supplements, and like 90% of the supplements have silica, and actually,
Mhm.
I know a lot of people that have sensitivity to silica now that are really fragile people. That yeah, I have a sensitivity to silica. Um, so I think knowing that and eliminating the silica was a really critical kind of turning point, I think, in the
Yeah.
case. And I think that happened with just like being in conversation with each other, knowing the case, and having experience with these different products.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, because when you told me that, it just made sense because you're like, you're silica to death because you have so many supplements and you got silica in all of them. So all my tablets, my tablet vitamins, you're like, we need to change those out because you need to stop taking silica for a while and see if things change. And it did
Yeah,
change.
it did change.
And so it was just one more thing that was like, oh, of course I'd have a silica. Like it's just like, you
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah, and that's like all the combination of the silica, the change of the diet, the supplements, the sauna blanket, the different
yep.
functional neurology exercise that we have you do, and you're still doing. Maybe kind of give an audience of what does it look like to get. So we did some testing on you, and you did some things. What are some exercises that you're doing, just so people can understand, what a
So
functional neurology check or exercise would be.
so I do the dot test where there's a dot on a piece of paper and I move my head back and forth as I stare at the dot and I'm at a point now where I have one foot in front of the other for
Hmm.
balance and things
Yeah,
like that. And then I move my head starting off slowly and I start to move it faster just to see where my tolerance levels are.
yeah,
And that's how my brain is starting to heal that way.
yeah, and that's
And then
critical.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, April.
Yeah, and so I've been doing that. I can remember in the beginning how bad I did with that test.
Yeah.
I had a super flare when you tested me. That's how we knew.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just to give some audience the background there is like when people are in this sympathetic drive, like April was, the whole midbrain, which has to do with your vision, your vestibular system, balance, if that's overstimulated, which I find that to be a common area where these antibiotics will flare up, is the midbrain. And that has to do with the eyesight, the vestibular system, your vagus nerve. If that's really inflamed and you turn your head and you get this flare, you need to try and exercise that area very slowly to put more stability into that area, besides
Mhm.
all the other things that we were doing working with you, April. It's like it's a combination of things. Like if someone just goes out there and does this, that's not going to help them, right? That's just like,
Right.
that's a monotherapy approach. You have to look at the whole thing and apply many
Yep.
things. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty awesome, especially when you do those exercises and you can see,
Hmm.
wow, I can do it way better now. I can stand tandem and I can move my head faster.
Yeah. And then you had me doing the infrared red blanket.
Yep, the
And
sauna blanket. Yeah.
yeah, I still tolerate it at low doses, but I'm still tolerating it because for
Yes.
some reason my body does not like that one as much as it likes other things, but it doesn't matter. I just keep hammering it out till I get better,
Yeah.
until I can move up and up and up to the point to where, I'm feeling like there's going to come a point where I'm not going to flare and then be like, wait a minute, I don't have any flares, and it's going to be super amazing.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
I do the that chia machine.
Yeah. Chi machine. Yep.
And I can tolerate that for longer periods of time. I can't do it on the super fast setting, but I just stay consistent and I just do it longer.
Yeah.
So I do those things. And I go to the gym every day. I
That's
just keep
great.
my body moving.
Yeah. You
Walking
look
on the
great. You
treadmill,
look great,
that does a
April.
lot for your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had a lot of
Just walking on the
conversations.
treadmill.
Yeah. The treadmill.
What's
Yeah. We've
that?
had lots of conversations over the 6 months, and sometimes you're calling and flare and you're crying and you're
Yeah.
frustrated. And
Yeah.
it's just a matter of just like being calm, working working through the things. And
Yeah.
yeah, that we did that together and you did an awesome job.
I was no easy case. And I can tell you before Cipro ever hit me, I could just roll with anything. Nothing really bothered me. I mean, I was a single parent. I was a young mom. I lived on my own. I did all the things. I mean, things didn't really bother me. I just knew how to manage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Cipro hit me hard. Like I experienced things about myself that I never even knew that I would experience about who I was. I'm like, this is not even me. I never felt like myself in my own shell because I just felt like I was a completely different person living this completely different life. And I didn't know how to fix it. And I was used to being able to fix things, and I couldn't fix this, not on my own. So I just knees to the ground, praying for help, and God just sent angels along the way.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And that's what I truly believe.
Yeah. That's great.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's been a journey. But if this journey saves other people's lives, that's what I care about the most. Because I don't want it to go to waste,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
this video is going to make an impact for sure. There's going to be people watching this that are going to have the same realities and give them hope. And there's going to be people watching this video having a panic attack, an anxiety attack, whatever it is going on, searching for answers. And you're going to pop up, April, and they're going to say, "Man, this is there's actually hope for me. I don't have to live like this." Especially coming from, I mean, you were in a rough spot. I mean, your daughter had cancer.
Yeah.
You couldn't function. I mean, I don't know. I can't even
Hmm.
imagine a darker spot than that, right? I mean, with your
Well, and then
daughter
we moved all the way across the country.
to
We
be
sold
with her.
everything, quit our jobs, moved all the way across country from Michigan, and we started a whole new life here in the middle of all that, like last year. And I became a full-time homeschool grandma
Mm,
and taking care of two little ones 5 days a week while my daughter went to her treatments. And that was, I mean, I had to be strong and awake and capable. And there were some days it was a struggle
yeah,
because
I'm
I was
sure.
going through so much myself, but I wanted
Yeah,
to stay strong for my daughter and my grandkids. And I just prayed every day that to give me the strength to get through another day.
yeah,
I learned to live just like the Bible says, one day at a time. He only gives us today. He doesn't promise us tomorrow, and yesterday's gone. All I have is today, and that's how I started living.
yeah. That's awesome. Okay,
And
great.
you had no easy case because I was not an easy
No,
case.
you were in an easy case. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of work for sure. And I had to be
I was a
very,
mess.
yeah, it took a lot of work. I had to be very, sometimes I had to talk to myself, just be calm, breathe, be calm. I mean, several times. I don't know if you ever sense that in my voice or not. I try not to, but I'm generally a very calm person. But there was
Yes.
definitely sometimes I had to like really exercise my calmness and but that's
You
part of
gave me
it.
some tough love. It was okay.
I did have to give you some tough love at
It's
some
okay.
times, but you took it in and you did. I think you ran with it appropriately. It was all like for
Yeah.
bettering your case. I mean, that's what it was for. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're a tough case. Not every cases are easy. I mean, that's just how it goes, and that's some of the
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say pleasures, but challenges of things that stimulate you. You got to always kind of think harder, and you got to come up with better thoughts and better. I don't want to say protocols, but better methods to help people because the
Hmm.
cases that are on my plate are not easy cases. These are really, really
No.
tough cases, right? And I'll be the first one. Not everyone that comes to me, gets better. Like it's just the reality. This is a tough situation. So I think
Well,
every day,
I think part of it's because there's no like protocol for antibiotic injuries because nobody in the world of medicine wants to believe those things happen. So
yeah.
I feel like it's different than like other diseases or disorders or things like that because nobody recognizes it. So it's like we're all just in this Hunger Game type situation. We're all trying to figure it out and make it known that it's a real thing.
Hmm.
And until doctors in the medical world and things like that start to actually recognize it as something, we're going to be playing this game for a long time.
Yeah.
And we're all the rest of us are trying to do is save the next person from taking a fluoroquinolone, right? So that they're
Hmm.
not injured and have to go through the same things because they're just going to be gaslighted as fibromyalgia or
Yeah.
anxiety or
Yeah.
depression, just
Mhm.
like the
Yeah.
rest of us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
here's a
That's
pill,
exactly what
right?
happens.
That's exactly what happens. Here's a pill, take another pill. And I was going to be on 3 to 5 pills by the time my doctor was done with me.
Yeah.
And I didn't take no pills and I still don't I take no medications. And I wasn't
Yeah.
about to start taking medications.
Yeah. It's good for you. That's great. This has been awesome. So in the last closing couple minutes here, what do you want to put out in the physical universe there to the people? What's your last words of hope for the community here, April?
When you feel like you're alone in the situation, you're not alone here. Like there's a community of people that see you and people that will hear you and will listen to you that if you know that fighting for your life is worth it, you'll just keep searching for the answer and keep looking to the next step to try to get better. Listen to your body. Don't let somebody else tell you how you should feel or how your body could heal or this or that because you know your body better than anybody else knows your body.
Yeah.
Even when everybody looks at you like you're crazy, because you're not. It's like I'm so in tune with my body. I know the slightest thing when it's off because I'm that in tune. It's almost annoying. So when somebody tries to brush you off as it's not this or it's not that, but you know it is, you listen to your body. You do what you know is right for you and your body, and it doesn't have to be the same way somebody else does something. This is your way of doing things, your journey. It's not the fun journey, but it's a journey nonetheless to get to your life back the way that you need to get it back. And if you have faith and you pray and you give your life to the Lord, He hears you and He will lead you. You just have to be willing to listen.
Hmm.
And that's what I really truly believe that the
Yeah.
Lord has led me every step of the way. He didn't say He'll be there He says He will be there for the next step. He's a lamp to our feet because He shows you the next step with that lamp, not the whole journey, but the next step. And
Yeah.
that's where I see me being taken the next step.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That was a great note to end it. And with that being said, if you're out there suffering, there's hope for you. And remember, is where there's help, there's hope. Where there is help, there is hope. Take care. Bye bye.